Korea for a secret meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Former U.S. First Lady Barbara Bush has passed away at the age of 92. And international chemical weapons inspectors are still waiting for access to the site of an alleged chemical weapons attack in Syria.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday to you. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Jones, and my very special guests with me today are Officer in Charge Patrick Kerr, and Mr. Carl A. Norman. He's a recruiter and public affairs specialist with the Fort Leonard Wood Blood Drive Donor Center. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us today. They are hosting a blood drive on the campus of Arkansas State University at the Military Science Building. I'm going to let them tell a little bit about themselves before we get into our discussion while I pick up my keyboard.
Hello, Jonesboro. I'm Captain Kerr. I'm with the Armed Services Blood Program. I've been in the military for 20 years, and I will say the program we do helps every soldier around the world throughout all of our operations and deployments as we seek medical attention. This is our way of making sure that our soldiers receive blood from the United States to the same healthcare quality that any soldier, any military member that would receive stateside.
Mr. Norman.
Yes, my name is Carl Norman. I am the donor recruiter and the public affairs officer for the Fort Leonard Wood Blood Donor Center. And I've been recruiting for the ASBP for about 7 years. And we are the official blood collection agency for the Department of Defense. And for the people that are injured at and get treated at a military treatment facility, odds are the blood that they receive will come from this program. So if anyone can come out and see us today, that'd be great. We'd love to have you.
All right, so please tell us the time of the blood drive.
Well, our blood drive today has already begun. It started at 8 o'clock this morning, and we're going to go until about 7 o'clock tonight. And it's at the Military Science Building on the Arkansas State University campus. I believe the address is 1921 AE Road.
Everyone that lives in Jonesboro should know it as the Armory. If you've lived here longer than 5 to 10 years, you know that it's the Armory building on campus. The big building, you can't miss it. So please go out and support this blood drive. So let's talk about who you serve and how the individuals can receive the blood that has been donated to your center.
The Armed Services Blood Program serves all of DoD, and our mission is to collect blood products to support military operations and healthcare facilities for the Army, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, and Navy. And as we continue on that mission, we've been in operation for over 50 years, meeting these goals. We have quotas that we meet. Each blood service, each healthcare facility on a daily average uses about 400 units of blood from a day-to-day basis. So our job is to collect that blood so the healthcare centers has that. Blood has a very short expiration. About 42 days is that from the time we collect it from the donor till it expires. And so our goal is to receive or have that blood go to somebody in time of need. Part of our mission is to make sure we can have that blood to our distribution center within 4 days, so it can be further distributed anywhere in the world within 3 days. So from today, next Tuesday, it can be anywhere in the world, supporting any military fighter anywhere in the world.
That is wonderful, and this is a great way to honor our military personnel, veterans, and the families of those individuals for the service they provide to our country to help keep us safe. So why not join in this effort to collect as much blood as possible to help those individuals, because many of them come back from overseas injured and are in need of some serious medical care, and they could use this blood. Okay, let's also talk about how many centers or where are the locations that people can find you all?
Well, there are 20. We are one of 22 blood donor centers scattered throughout the world. I believe there's one in Germany, and I think there's one in Japan. The rest of them are scattered throughout different military bases throughout the United States, Georgia and Texas, but there's one in Missouri, us. And if you go to www.militarieblood.dod.mil, you'll find a map on that website. That's the Armed Services Blood Program's website, and you'll find a map on there that shows where all the different agencies are. As Captain Kerr said, the military healthcare system requires 400 units of blood every day, and if there's only 22 blood donor centers, you can see that's a big mission, especially when you take into consideration that at a deployed location like Iraq or Afghanistan, 1 out of every 4 service members that are admitted to a medical facility in those areas will require a blood transfusion of some degree. Some of them may be relatively minor, but whenever you have the unfortunate souls that are involved with explosive devices, where they might lose a limb or something like that, those folks can burn through probably anywhere from 100 to 150 units of blood over the course of a day or two.
Oh, wow. So it is vital that we please go out and support these efforts, these blood drives. If you go to their website, like Mr. Carl said, it is www.militarieblood.dod.mil. Click on the tab that says Be a Donor, and it lists 3 easy steps to donate. And then if you scroll down, you can find that map that he was referencing. You can click on that. I want to ask though, if someone can't make it out, say, to this blood drive, but they would love to host a drive, how can they go about doing that?
Well, the main thing that they would need to do would get in touch with one of those centers there and see if it would be feasible for them to be able to come to their location. And that's all depends on. We've wanted to come down here for quite a while, but we've been restricted in doing that simply because of the budget implications. Okay. And it costs a little bit of money to bring a team down here and put them up in a hotel for 3 or 4 days, and those kind of things. But outside of that, we're very willing to come back and have the great folks at Jonesboro come out and show their patriotism and their compassion for their fellow soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines.
All right. And I also want to encourage everyone to go to their website and look around. Click on the Home tab. There's a lot of information there. It tells you where they've been, where you're going, who you've interacted with. There's a lot of wonderful information about your organization on the website. Sorry, it's not working. Okay, while my page is loading, we're going to get back into how long have you all been working with the ASBP?
I've been working with the Armed Services Blood Program going on 7 years, and it's been all as a recruiter. And I will say that's probably, of all the things that I've ever done in my life, that's probably one of the most rewarding, because whenever you know that donor that you've brought in, the blood, that 1 unit of blood that they are going to give is going to go, and 2 or 3 people are going to have either life-saving or life-changing results from that. That's just a very humbling thing.
Okay. Now, I had to ask you off the top of your head, how many individuals would you say have benefited from the blood that has been donated? Do you all keep statistics or keep numbers?
1 unit of blood from any individual donor can be separated into many products.
Okay.
Typically, 1 unit will be separated into 3 different products. So you can help 3 different people with every blood drive, with every blood donation. Every day people are receiving blood. It's hard to give a specific number. We're talking thousands and thousands of people throughout the military that have received blood products over the years from military donations. specifically any number of conditions that you would find from hospitals on the civilian side. We do open heart surgeries, we do childbirths, we do cancer treatments. We also do combat injuries and burn victims. So we do treat the wide gambit of everything that a typical hospital would see, and we do the same transfusions that a typical hospital would do. We also do those combat-related injuries as well.
All right, that is wonderful. And so also, if you would like to sign up for their newsletter to stay on top of what the ASBP is doing, where they may be going next, go to their website as well and enter your email address and join their, it's called an e-newsletter. Join their mailing list so that you can get up-to-date information on what they're doing. There's also, I see, a fellowship program. Can you explain what that is?
The Army Fellowship Program is designed for medical laboratory technicians.
Okay.
People working with the doctors, getting the laboratory results to support diagnosis. But if you've expressed an interest in becoming a blood banker, is what we call it, working with transfusion medicine in the collection and distribution of blood products, you attend this fellowship. It's a lengthy course, 12 to 18 months.
Okay.
And it works with George Washington University at Washington, D.C. At the completion of that, you take an exam with the American Society of Clinical Pathologists, and you become certified as a specialist in blood banking.
So there's many roles that individuals can play. So if they're a little squeamish of a needle, they don't want to get stuck, donate their personal blood, they can help round up other people to donate their blood. So again, please go out today. Today's the 18th. Today's the 19th. 18th. Okay, I am so behind. I apologize. I'm backwards today. Today's 18th at the Military Sciences Building, better known as the Armory, on the campus of Arkansas State University. It started already at 8 a.m., but you're going to go past 5 p.m. today?
We're going to go till 7 o'clock tonight.
7 o'clock tonight. So I need everyone out there to go out. And when you go, tell them that you heard this on KLEK and you want to come out and support. Just think about if you have had anybody in your family or your friend circle to serve in the military, please go out and support this effort. You know what a benefit it can be for those who are in need. And again, the address is 1921 Aggie Road, Jonesboro, Arkansas. And this is sponsored by Jonesboro E911 and the city of Jonesboro. It says blood donations directly support our warfighters serving worldwide. We all know someone at some point who has been active in the military or maybe retired now. We know how receiving blood, especially if they're in the war zone, if they're on the front line, if they're active duty period and they're overseas or anything and they get injured, we know how important receiving blood and getting the help they need is vital to them continuing on. So any other thoughts you would like to share? Why is this important? Just the
military has had a tremendous success, and the people that are injured on the battlefield coming home and resuming somewhat normal lives as opposed to the past conflicts. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that is, due to the advances in medical science and the facilities and the treatments and all that. But a lot of it is also due to, that they've had the blood available there at that first line hospital or medical treatment facility whenever they come off the battlefield. That way the blood that they need is right there. And the reason they've had that is because there's been somebody somewhere that's had compassion enough to say, hey, I'll go spend 20 or 30 minutes and I'll go donate a unit of blood. And that blood is now made available for those people who are out and who knows where, defending the freedoms that we take for granted every day.
Yes, sir.
So if you have a chance today, if you have your health, I would just encourage you to celebrate that by coming and donating blood to some of the folks in the military who have been injured or have diseases like cancer or those kind of things that aren't as fortunate.
Alrighty, so please go out and support their efforts. Again, this is the Armed Services Blood Program, and they are here in Jonesboro today hosting a blood drive on the campus of Arkansas State University at, we always call it the Armory, but it's the Military Science Building. You can see Officer-in-Chief Mr. Patrick Care and Mr. Carl Norman, who is a recruiter. And if you have any other questions, I'm sure they'll be happy to answer them on site. They can tell you how you can get more involved. Let's talk about your Facebook page you have where people can also reach you.
We do have our Facebook page. We highlight some of our blood donations and blood drives that we do, and this is a collective site for all of our 22 centers. So if you just want to kind of keep up, find out where the next drive is going to be, depending on which base you're looking at, or if you're in travels, going on vacation. Blood is one of those things you really just can't plan. You know when you're going to need it. You don't know when the next car accident is going to happen. You don't know when you're going to need that blood transfusion. And it's really one of those things that can't be manufactured. It can't be dug from the ground. You have to pre-plan. You have to have it in the right place at the right time, or the people who need it just aren't going to get it. So if you're looking through our Facebook page, if you look through our website and you find a military center, you find a blood drive available, we're just asking that you come and you give a donation. It really does take 30, 45 minutes. We'll give you a free t-shirt. We'll give you cookies and juice. We'll sponsor as best you can, and we'll give as much hospitality as we can to make your experience very comfortable.
Okay. And if you are on Facebook, go to Armed Services Blood Program, ASPB as in boy, and their page will come up. Like and share, spread the word. And there may be some people who just simply do not know what you have to offer, and if they did, they would love to support. So that's how we get the word out, by networking and sharing. So please go and share this information. Share the flyer about the blood drives and let everyone know what's going on. So, all right, so once you all leave Jonesboro, do you have another location already set up for another blood drive?
No, we will go back to our home base at Fort Leonard Wood, and we will go back to our regular operations.
Okay.
And we have the next large collection effort for the Armed Services Blood Program would be cadet summer training at Fort Knox in Kentucky.
Okay.
And other than that, we will just collect the units we have there at Fort Leonard Wood.
And what is I didn't ask this earlier. I'm sorry, I'm on thumbs today. What is the age requirement to donate blood?
You have to be at least 17 years old.
Okay.
And
now,
feeling well, and there's some other criteria, but at least 17 years old.
Okay.
If you've done any recent traveling, just have an idea of where you've been. There are some locations that require a little bit more questions to determine if it's safe to transfuse. If you're taking medications prescribed by doctors, at least know what medications you're taking. All this stuff will be referenced during the donor interview to make sure that the products you're donating is safe for the people that are going to receive it.
I never thought about, and should have thought about, people taking certain medications, and if they have certain health issues, they may not be a good candidate to be a donor. But hopefully, if you're not a good candidate, you know someone who is a candidate who's not afraid of a needle. So encourage them to please go out and donate. Let's help the military personnel reach their numbers. Like, what is an ideal number of collection of units collected during a blood drive? For this Jonesboro drive, we're really hoping to get between 250 and 300. We're working towards that goal now, and we're trying to get there. We're hoping that this drive is a success, and I think Jonesboro can really help us with that. All right, so Jonesboro, let's show them what we're made of and go out and support their efforts. I want to say good morning to a few people. Mr. Bernard Cobbs, Mr. Cade Holiday, our county clerk, Ms. Tanita Boyd, Wathel, so good morning. And to everyone else that is watching, we thank you all for tuning in, and share this video with everyone on your friends list. Let's get the word out there. Let's keep them busy today. Let's show them some love on today, please. Let's show our military families, individuals, our friends that we love and care about them. Go out and donate some blood today. So before we get ready to wrap up, any other words, any other information about your location, Fort Leonard Wood, or the blood drives in general? any stories you want to share concerning families who have been recipients of your blood donations?
Well, in talking to people, I've run into that. There was one drill sergeant that worked was stationed at Fort Leonard Wood, and he had a young daughter. I think she was 8 years old. Had a blood disorder, and she for the rest of her life was going to have a blood transfusion every I think he said 8 to 10 weeks, just to have a normal life. Can you imagine having that kind of thing where you have to rely on the compassion of others for every 8 to 10 weeks for the rest of your life? And that's something that the blood donors can reach. And I've talked to a Army Master Sergeant, who was at home in Texas, and he had one of those electric fireplaces that burned wood. So he just threw a log on the fire, and well, I guess that hit one of the propane lines feeding it or something. And anyway, and flames burst up, and it burned him over 77% of his body. So he had to have initial skin grafts, and then for the next 8 or 9 months, he had to have repeat operations, and each one of those took blood. So it's not just, I mean, we do collect blood for the soldier injured on the battlefield, but there's more others that need it as well.
All right, today,
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.